So, on the other side, so we didn't have the best start to the weekend last week. So I think in terms of the performance of Spurs, I think there was a lot of pressing. If it wasn't for Newcastle's goalkeeper, because he made some miraculous saves and he was the man of the match by far. I still think we should have gone beyond that first goal, and safeguarded ourselves a bit more, because you can't carry a whole game all the time with 1-0. It's just impossible. Don't park the bus. Just keep on pressing. I think in terms of Newcastle's attack, it wasn't there until the very end of the game. So anyway, that I don't think that excuses the decision that was made right at the end of the game, where so there was a free kick which I think shouldn't have been given anyway, because one of their players knocked straight into Højbjerg, and then they were like, foul, Højbjerg, you're in the way, free kick, Newcastle. It's like, really? So if VAR went further back and looked at that, they would have ruled out that penalty opportunity wouldn't have been given anyway if it wasn't for the free kick, but I digress. So then it gets the free kick comes in, Andy Carroll headers it, Eric Dyer's facing away from the ball, and the ball hits his arm. It's there, isn't it? Or no?
Yeah, essentially he had his arms in
a natural sort of
jumping position, right? But he can't do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
This may sound like sour grapes to a lot of people from you, KB, because your team drew in the last minute. But even as an Arsenal fan, I totally empathise with your plight, because it's a ridiculous rule.
It is,
Eric Dyer, Andy Carroll essentially heads into the ball into the back of Eric Dyer's body, so he can't do anything about it, right?
But I saw in the Arsenal, sorry, just to interject, I saw in the Arsenal game with that, Diego Jota goal, and it hit his arm, and, nothing was given about that. But if that happened to any other player, it would be ruled as a handball.
I know, but it's kind of, we'd still deserve to lose that game, to be fair. We got battered, but that's still just the rule, the rule is an arse, as they say, as the expression goes.
And
it's not VAR. VAR is, I feel like it could be a useful thing in the game, but it's still not being implemented correctly.
Yeah,
and the handball rule is an absolute joke.
Yeah, because it's just it's a handball, even if it's unintentional. Whoever thought that up, we saw it in the Maccabi Haifa game. Doherty, I don't know who's got a fucking target on top of his head, but it was against the Southampton game when the ball was kicked into his arm there when he had it out. So that was a penalty given to Southampton. And then in the Maccabi Haifa game, where his arm was literally by his body, he was blocking his body from being hit. Naturally, you'd want to protect your ribs from getting hit by a football. Otherwise, you could suffer some cracked ribs. But that was also the penalty. And then to be honest, we got a penalty afterwards, and his arm was there. So, both ways, it was pretty bad calls on that. Well, not necessarily bad calls, because it is the rules, but yeah, the rules in themselves need to have some sort of revision.
But it's like, if players' arms have to be in a natural position, right, and you're not allowed to have your arms anywhere above your thing whilst you're jumping to get more momentum, then everyone will just be like March of the Penguins.
I know, yeah.
Where they would just be like, and that's even more unnatural than actually having your hands up whilst you're jumping. It's just it's a ridiculous, Jamie Carragher. Right?
Yes, Jamie Carragher. Sorry.
Jamie Carragher. He's not very happy about this.
It's an absolute joke. Absolute joke.
That's Michael Owen. No, to be fair, that's almost what he said, just in a Scouse accent, because I'm not sure what accent that was. It's an absolute disgrace, an absolute joke. Eric Dyer jumps to the ball, has no control of where his arms are going to be. It was a header half a yard away from him, hits him on the back of the arm. He has no idea what's going on. Whether it's the Premier League, the FA, FIFA, Pierluigi Collina, whoever's involved in this, stop it, because you're ruining football for everybody. Absolute joke. You've got more trouble on your hands, Premier League, FIFA, UEFA, whoever's involved. Change this now. I mean, pretty. That's coming from a guy with 20 years of experience in football.
Because from the other side of it, you think, like, I get that they're trying to make handballs more of a noticeable thing, but at the same time, how long until that is going to be abused, that people are going to aim for people's arms or anything along with that sort of rule? So, you kind of...
People are just going to be like, right, lads, we've got a last minute, we're 1-0 down. We need to get in their box. Just basically try and kick it against one of their arms or their hands in the box. Then we'll get a penalty.
Yeah, just...
there has to be a threshold, like a grey line.
If someone reaches out and like tries to block it with their hand, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's call that a foul because that's intentional. But if someone kicks it into someone's hand,
you see, Gary Neville brings up an interesting point as well. In terms of balance, right? When you're jumping, I've been there as a defender. You have to have your arms out by your side. You have to be balanced. Your arms have to be extended away from your body. They have to be.
Yeah,
it's absolutely impossible.
Mm-hmm. And then you get the contrarians saying that it was an unnatural position. Look, whether it was like more unnatural than not, he couldn't see the ball. That's the big thing, and that actually is ruled. That's in the rules as well, isn't it? Like, if you can't see the ball, it shouldn't be ruled as a handball, in a sense.
Speaking of contrarians, Graham Souness. It's the new rules. It's harsh. This is ridiculously harsh, but these are the new rules. You can berate the referee, but he's only carrying out the rules that are in place. Like we said, it's not VAR itself. VAR is a good thing. It's the handball rule that needs to change.
Yeah.
Nobody's
saying the ref is bad or VAR is bad. They're saying that the rule is bad because it ruins the sport.
Yeah. But anyway, to put a bookend on that, it was still funny because it's Tottenham Hotspur.
Fuck you.